Hi there everyone, my name is Rob Warren. I'm a singer-songwriter from Durban and frontman for a band called the Black Lapels. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about my singing technique and how I do what I do. I've sung for going on 20 years now professionally. I've done every type of gig from churches to bars to nightclubs, restaurants, festivals, anything you can imagine, I've pretty much done. I have come to understand the one thing that I need as a singer is longevity. Not only on a weekly basis, but also, for my life and for as long as I can sing. There are times when I have, 4 to 5 gigs back to back in a row, which can get taxing on the vocal cords, and it's quite sometimes it's quite an undertaking. I find that I sing best and my voice recovers best when I am relaxed. So some of the things I do to try and make that happen, is just to make gig days as easy as possible, to try and keep the focus on the gig. And the most important thing at a gig and at a show is that when I walk on stage and I start singing, that I sing well. So I try and eliminate as much stress as possible. I try and order my day. We have some silly rules. One of them is, you keep your phone on so that if someone needs to get hold of someone, that can happen, just to alleviate that stress, because there's many things to be stressed about. Sound check, getting changed, set lists and all these things. So, eliminating stress for me on the day of a show is vital. I also try and really focus on the technique of singing, breathing correctly, singing from the correct place. I have done some vocal training many years ago, but I often go back and relearn those things and do a recap on those things. I also train during the week. Obviously I do sing at home, but more than just singing songs, I will go through exercises that help me improve my stamina, help me improve my tone, so that when I get on stage, it's muscle memory and it's something that I know how to do. I think also one of the things that I've learned is developing the ability to read a room, depending on what the gig is. If I'm playing a gig that is more of a background gig and more kind of background music, I won't be, as forceful with what I'm singing. I will rather pull myself back and use restraint so that I save my voice and I don't use my voice in excess when I don't need to. So reading the room is vital for me. If I can get away with just singing softly, I'll do that, because tomorrow night I might have to sing at the edge of my range and really push it. Things like rest are very important to me, especially when I've got a studio session or a gig or a run of gigs. I will make sure that I get to bed early. I'll make sure that I warm up. Warm up is something that's very important, and I didn't do it for years. And warm up isn't only about singing, but it's also about afterwards. It's also about recovery time for me. Hydrating, drinking water is vital. Again, I used to do that, but I used to do it at the gig, Before the gig, have some water, have a honey and lemon, get my voice ready. But I find it's better if I do that on a consistent basis every day. Make sure I drink water, make sure I have enough, because it's not enough to just do it 10 minutes before the gig. I think being as physically fit as you can manage is a good thing. That obviously feeds into your voice. The biggest lesson for me over the past few years is not to be arrogant with your voice. And I have learned this by trial and error. It's very easy to, stand up there and you are the singer, and you kind of get into the moment and you think that your voice is something that we can kind of take for granted. But I've learned over time that the better I treat my voice, the better my voice will treat me. Arrogance has no place. Singing it's a beautiful gift, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. And I always try to keep that in the forefront of my mind, trying to be a singer and not a rock star. The second thing that I feel is vital for me, and the second thing that I need, is connection. I started singing music to connect with people. I started singing to connect with myself. And I find that, that is the point of being on a stage, is to connect with my audience. I find that there's a few things that I need to do to ensure this. The first one is preparation. I've got to know the material that I'm singing. I've got to know the actual words. Because it's important for me not to be thinking about the next word I'm singing. Sometimes that happens and sometimes it's half a beat before I have to sing that verse, that I remember the verse, and I remember that first word. So what I try to do is really know my material and endeavor if at all possible, not to have lyrics on stage with me, so that I'm not reading off a sheet, but I'm actually connecting with the lyrics. Some of the ways that I do, or the one way that I do this, is I will find a YouTube video with lyrics on it, and when I'm learning the song, I will actually play along and read and sing, while I'm watching it. So I'm physically doing it and I'm reading it, like mentally doing it. I think also understanding the lyrics is important, understanding what the song's about, trying to get into the head of the person who wrote it or the person who sang it. This helps me to put the correct emphasis in the correct place. It helps me to decide on tone, decide on direction of where I'm going and how I want to do it. And then another thing that I've come to see is the volume of the instrument when I'm singing. If I'm playing guitar, if I'm in a verse, I will try to play my guitar back, or the instrument that I'm playing, I'll try to play that at a lesser volume so that the volume comes through. If I play the instrument at the same level that I'm singing, then the voice is going to get lost, and I need to keep the emphasis and the focus on the lyric. The most important thing for me is to let the song lead, and to make sure that I'm in a position that I'm able to follow. When I'm on stage and I feel it going a certain way and the band's going a certain way, I need to be able to get behind the song and do what the song is saying, do what the music's saying, instead of having my own preconceived ideas and doing it this way just because I do it that way. I've got to be open to the moment and sing correctly and connect with what I'm doing. So those are just a few things. I hope that's helpful. Longevity, focus on keeping the main thing. Train your voice, make sure you're hydrated, be relaxed when you're singing, know the material, and most of all, be open to what is happening. Be intelligent about your singing. Don't try and be something that you're not. Don't be arrogant. Connect with the music, connect with the song, and connect with the people that you're on stage with, because that is what it's about. For me, it's about the person in the audience feeling what I'm doing and feeling what I'm saying. So I hope that's helpful, and best of luck if you want to pursue singing, and big love from me. Cheers.